everyone. I'm Sudeepthi Dondapati. We've been dealing with a series of aspects on antonyms. So, part of verbal English, we are here to discuss very deeply about these principles and a few strategies you can really relate and correlate when you have to answer the questions on antonyms. Okay, so now in the previous sessions, what did we do? We dealt with all antonyms. So we divided a few questions, part one, part two, part three, because there are almost like more than 80 to 90 questions, like part of verbal English, and all these questions appear for verbal English exams previously. Okay, so this will be very helpful indeed for you to concentrate on focused questions, on pattern of the question. So you may think that what would be a question like based on an antonym. So this will be a very good model and pattern for you to focus on verbal English. So let's get started with the continuation, like previously we did a few antonyms. We'll continue with these questions now. For example, there is a question like, okay, perturbed. So perturbed. So I have not marked the right answer for you because we've been dealing with many antonyms so far, nearly 2 sessions. So by now you must be, getting, very much acquainted and associated and getting, might have got familiarized with the answers for these questions like antonyms. So now, what do you think is the right answer? So the thing is like you have to pull out the odd man out, and especially for antonyms, what you have to do is you have to understand the meanings of the options given first. In the first case, you have to understand answer to yourself, right? You say answer aloud, saying that, oh, worried, what's the meaning? And then it'll be very easier for you to pull out the odd man out. So, and basically, what is the answer will be the opposite of the question asked. So, it's so easy to crack on these antonyms. So, the first question, perturbed. So, what is perturbation? Or perturbed? Oh, I'm so perturbed. So, what is that? So, one thing is like, kind of like, getting a bit agitated, disturbed, and so on, right? Resolved. Resolved is like resolving an issue. Okay, decided, thought about it, worked on that. Composed, full of control and balance, in control. Controllable, like something which you can control. Worried, and it is obviously, very stressed out action. So perturbed is like, kind of like getting disturbance or getting disturbed. So obviously the antonym will be the opposite of it. That means like could be controllable or composed. So both could be the right answers. So you can choose one of the right answers. So and again, if you have 2 options which are very near to the question or to the answer which you think can be the right answer. So in that case, what you have to do is choose the nearest and closest option to the question asked. So here, controllable means like something which you can really control. Perturbed is like something which you are so much disturbed and agitated within yourself and outside. So composed, so you have the composure, control, and also like why this can be the right answer. I feel composed could be the right answer because controllable is something obviously is controlled and balanced, whereas when you say it is composed, it's not only that you are able to balance and control, but you're adding to another level of explanation, saying that you remain calm and quiet, silent. So it's not only that you're able to control and being very calm, but also you are very silent and you're not disturbed. And obviously silence or being silent is like that, being very calm. So that is the answer to the question, right? Perturbed, composed. So that is the option. Third, option C is the right answer. Hope you guys guess the answer. Now we'll continue with the questions, remaining questions. Sluggish, sluggish, sluggery, slugger, we say, right? She's a slugger. That means being very inactive, very, not being very agile, being very, not being very energetic and not very lively. So now the options given for you are like, lethargic, indolent, apathetic, intelligent, exuberant. So lethargic again contributes to the same meaning in the question. Like the question word sluggish, lethargic is being very lazy and not being very comfortable. Okay, being very lazy. Apathetic is like being feelingless. Okay, not feeling anymore, or not very indifferent to pleasure or pain. Could be any feeling. Intelligent, being very intelligent is again, being very smart, okay? And you are very smart and you are very, active and agile, right? And exuberant perhaps could be, is more than this intelligent. Intelligent is just to do with your smartness and wisdom, knowledge, whereas exuberant is not just you are intelligent alone, but also you are very active, agile. That's what the words you can really attribute. So these are the words. So you are very agile, you're very active, all this. Okay. So exuberant means being very active. So that is the answer. Sluggish means exuberant. Exuberance also we say, like adjective. So being very exuberant means you are being very active and having lots of energy. So that is a sense, right? You can select the option E as the right answer. So we'll proceed with the another question. Question number 56, stationary. So what is the stationary? You mean STATIONERY, stationary. There's also another meaning like where you can collect, collection of, books, pens, and other, where paper and pen relate, it's kind of like tools where you can use for that. So also that is different case. It's altogether a different case. But here stationary means it is like you being very not moving, like not movable, something which is not being stagnant in one position, and that's like not moving here and there. So fixative, so could be again stationary is like not at all, a kind of like mobile, you say, right? Opposite of that word. So fixative is again stagnant, stable. Attachable is to do with again the fixation of it, or something related to it, or something belonging to that. Third one, moving. Stationary is again moving. Yeah, let's think about the option a little later. So 4, detached, again attachable and detached, just to divert your concentration. This has been given. Okay, so basically it's not about attachment or detachment. It is again detachment and attachment are the same, but it is nothing to do with the question word asked. So you can definitely eliminate it. Okay, so another option given for you is shifting. You shift from that place to this place. You move from this and to another. So that is basically the meaning. Without so stationary is again fixed in one position, whereas moving is again moving here and there. So that is the option you can really choose. Option C is the right answer. Next, stealth. So what is this stealth meaning? So options given for you are overtness, implication, covertness, explanation, interference. Overtness, implication, covertness, explanation, interference. So now the questions are like, overtness or cowardness or implications, explanation, interference. So overtness is what, again, something which is very open, okay, being very, open to everything, and like you do not really, hide anything, and which you don't consider, part of it. So you don't hide it and do not keep it under the the rack, like something which is very open to everyone. So that could be one option for you. Next, basically the meaning of it. So don't think that as the right answer, but I just explained for you the meaning of the word. So later on we will decide why it is the right answer, and you can see very much on the screen where it is highlighted in red color. Next, implication. Implication is something which you can really feel that it is likely a suggestion, kind like you do something and out of which you derive a few thoughts and based on the questions, and so you can really draw conclusions, and the questions, those are like, you conducted a survey, and based on that you drew a few implications, conclusions. So that could be the answer. Okay, so that's kind of like conclusion, and not only that, you don't limit it to just a conclusion, mere conclusion, but it's like, you kind of like suggest, and so out of this, like as a result of that, how do you really take this further, and how do you really take it further and extend it, and what are the thoughts that you've received, basically. So that's it. So explanation. Next, interference. Interference. So interference means it's like, intervene. So that's it. Like you again intervene in somebody else's affair. So you can see that. Still, overtness, implication, cowardness, explanation, interference. So something. So now you can understand the options, right? Given options, like you say, implication is nothing to do with this. Still, what is this? Still, the meaning. It's like, you conceal. Okay, you hide. You're not very open, and it's not very transparent. It's not something which is fancy. Again, very transparent in appearance, and it's not very tangible at the same time, and it is also no it is also kind of like you hide it again, and you are you nurture it within yourself, and you don't show it. So that's the that's also that's one of the options we can really take it. And covertness, yes, it is related to stealth. Covertness again is like, you covet something, you do not show it, and you kind of like keep it underlying, which is not completely transparent. Next, for explanation. Explanation. What is this explanation? Means like you explain, you do it, you try to say it, right? So that is it. Next, interference. Interference. You interfere. Okay, so now the question, overtness is the opposite of cowardness. Stealth. So obviously option A is the answer. So do you understand? A word explanation has been given to you so that you would really understand the meanings and try to apply that in your spoken English or written English. So my dear listeners, what I would suggest you is like you have to pay attention to all the synonyms and antonyms that you really you need, that you really need it for your basic communication. So this will all this will help you and enrich you, and enrich your language depository, and also that will enhance your speaking ability too, right? So let's proceed with another question. Chaos being chaotic. Chaos. 58, chaos. What is the meaning of it? It is completely bewilderment, disorderliness, and it's completely unruly kind of atmosphere. So, and now, so the meaning of it. Now let us look at the options given. Disorder, yes, of course, it is a synonym. In fact, bedlam again is the same. Order being very in a very systematic way. Control, again, self-explanatory, and illegality is to do with law and justice related, and something which you can be permitted, right? So obviously the answer will be order, because chaotic is completely disorderliness, and whereas an opposite will be order. Right answer. So the next question is stench. Stench is something, it is again another common word. Oh, we say it is stenching. So that means it leaves very bad odor. It's not very fragrant, smell, kind of atmosphere. Fragrance again is very pleasant smell. Okay. So stenching means it smells bad. Okay, it's very it's very uneasy, or we feel very uncomfortable to sit and do our work there in that environment. So obviously that is the answer. So now let's look at the options given: stink, odor, fragrance, filled, smell. Stink. So let us look at the option 1, stinking. Stinking means what? And again, it is again one form of stenching, like it smells bad. So that is one thing. Odor is like good odor is there, bad odor. So that is again a neutral term, but it is related to smell. C is fragrant, pleasant, okay, very sweet smell to take in. Next, fill again is dirt, okay, dirt, and it is completely it's completely garbage. Next, another option is smell. You smell something, you inhale it. So it is again a verb. It is nothing to do with good order or bad order, but it is to do with taking that bad order or good order. It's like take in and take out. So that is a right answer. So C, option C, stenching is a very bad odor, whereas fragrance is a good odor. So that is the answer. You can really mark it. Next, sterling. Sterling is what is the question? What the sterling we say, and so that means what is the answer? Let us look at the options given. 1, A, royal. B, mediocre. C, loyal. D, deceptive. E, fraudulent. Royal, mediocre, loyal, deceptive, fraudulent. So option A, royal. Royal means what? It is completely kind of grand, and it is very high, very good importance, and something which is very, it is something which very light sections enjoy that privilege, being a royal appearance, we say, rich, grandeur appearance. So that is to do with that. And next, option B is mediocre. Mediocre means what? Like average, mediocre, average. It is like a medium kind of thing, mediocre, not completely this or that, kind of like somewhere between the two, okay, somewhere between it. So that is the thing. Next, being loyal, being faithful, doing whatever the task that has been assigned to you, you be very faithful, not being unfaithful, but being very true and sincere. Okay, or next, that is the answer. Option D, deceptive. What is this deceptive appearance, we say? Okay, so deceptive appearance is what? Deceptiveness is deception, we say, something which is not very sincere, deceiving capacity. Okay, you deceive someone, and which is not very plain, which is a false thing. It is not very sincere. It's not a loyal thing, and it's not very good. So that is a thing. Next, E, fraudulent, fraud. Like, something which is again deception, one form of deception. So you can either go to deceptive, option D or E, deceptive or fraudulent. So you can take the direct option, deceptive. D is the right answer. Sterling again. Now let us think about the option. We have discussed the options given: royal, mediocre, loyal, deceptive, fraudulent. Then what is the mean? Basically, we understood the meanings of all 5 options given. But what is the meaning of the word question word sterling appearance? It is very good, very appearing to be very moral and righteous. So obviously option D, deceptive, is the right answer. Asphyxiate. What is asphyxiate? Asphyxiate is something which is very a negative connotation. So how do you understand this? A, remove. B, accept. C, discard. D, breathe. E, withhold. Remove, accept, discard, breathe, withhold. So what is this? Like remove, accept, discard, breathe. Asphyxiate is something which you really smother a person to death. Like hardly that you let that person breathe. You smother them to death. That's like smothering on his face. We come to hear, right, where you hardly leave a person to take enough sufficient oxygen and you hardly breathe. So that is the sense of it. When you breathe, you can really feel comfortable, but when you smother them, you are not letting them breathe properly, sufficiently. So that is the sense of it. Okay, so that is the meaning. You smothered somebody to death. That is the meaning of the word asphyxiate. And now look at the options given. Remove. 1, accept, discard, breathe, withhold. Remove, again, it's to do with the removal of something. Okay, accept is like you take in. Discard is like you leave it. No more in existence. Breathe means like you take in. That is again, that you're able to survive with good breathing, like, or with sufficient breathing. Next, E, withhold. You withhold them, like you don't let them. Okay, you withhold them not to go, and you will not let that person go, or you tightly keep it in, and you kind of like you make that remain in that position with you withhold your anger. Okay, so that is the sense of it. That is how you need to understand. So that is the meaning of the word breathe, withhold. Next, let us look at the question followed. This one, 62. So now what is the answer here? Option D is the right answer. Opposite of that, antonym of it. So smothering again, but asphyxiate means like you are not able to breathe, but then like breathing is the opposite. Next, 62. Stigmatize. So what is a stigmatize? Stigmatize means what? Is it like, you do something to the person? Yes. If your guess is that, then it is absolutely right. So now let us discuss all the options given in detail. Praise, protect, spoil, complain, attribute. Praise, protect, spoil, complain, attribute. Now, you praise someone. Okay, you praise someone means what? You appreciate. But protecting, you protect someone, right? You save them. Spoil, you do some harm. Complain, you are against that person, and of course out of rivalry or out of troubles. Attribute, again, it's basically a characteristic. Right now, stigmatize means you speak ill of others, you comment very badly, you say negative things about that person, and you ill-treat them. So that is the meaning. So obviously the opposite will be what? Praising. You praise someone, you appreciate them. So from the given options, praise, protect, spoil, complain, attribute, you can choose that to be the right one. Praise, protect, spoil, complain, attribute. So that is the right answer. What? Praising someone, talking good about the others. Hold. What is this? Hold means what? Holding someone, we say, right? So let us look at the options given first and then decide on the answer. Squander, prepare, preserve, keep, bestow. So what is this squandering means? Like you kind of like you squander, waste, like extravagant money, or you don't like wasting money lavishly, wasting something. Preparing option, again preserving, that self-explanatory. Prepare, you make arrangements. Preserve, you keep that for a later use. Keep it, it's just a bestow, you give someone or you to be given. So whereas squandering is like you spend something very lavishly. Hoarding is something which you economize, okay. So which you don't waste it very lavishly, or which you don't give it in a very better way, and you don't just don't let that person waste a lot of money. So obviously squandering is a right answer. You don't do that. Next option 64, sorry, question 64, STOIC. So the options given, again one more puzzle for you. I'm not here to help you with the answer, so take a few seconds to look at the questions while I read out the options. You can choose one of the options given and mark it as the right answer. STOIC: passionate, B apathetic, C unflappable, D nervous, for endurant. Passionate, apathetic, unflappable, composed nature, nervous, endurant. So what is this passionate? Being very passionate, being very much interested, having a lot of passion for doing something, and you are in favor of that, and you need that. You're an ardent follower of something, like you really take care of that. So like you're a passionate person. So that is it. Next, be apathetic. Apathetic means like being very indifferent to any pleasure, feelings, like you are not completely, not that you feel kind of any, kind of pain or pleasure or kind of sense. So apathetic. That is that is like you are very indifferent to it. Next is the unflappable. Unflappable. That means like you are completely controlled, not getting disturbed, and you are very calm and composed person. So that is a meaning. Nervous. Nervous means what? Being very, tense and agitated again. Next, endurant. Again, of course, you endure something, and something which can be tolerated. So now, stoic means what? Somebody who is very kind of is like very indifferent to pleasure or pain. Now, what is it? You would have guessed the answer. No, the answer is somewhere like passionate or apathetic. Okay, is like somebody who feels it, who fails it. So you can take the option B as the right one. Now, if you can see the questions, more or less the questions and the meanings asked are very near. Actually, we see quite a few questions on controlled nature or uncontrolled nature or being recomposed or like that. So you can see the similarity actually. So that means you have to understand that these are very important questions. So you have to focus. Apply extra focus on those. Next, uncontrolled. Uncontrolled. A, stoic. B, imaginative. C, inflexible. D, submissive. E, composed. Stoic, imaginative, inflexible, submissive, composed. Again, again, stoic, that's the question asked. So again, it is to do with a kind of like, feelings. And imaginative, of course, imagining something, and you imaginate something. And, it's kind of imaginary situation where you can expect and you can really dream of, you can really think in your subconscious level or in your thought level. Next, inflexible. Inflexible, not being very flexible. It's like, very rigid kind. Next, submissive. Submissive, what? What is, you are very obedient. You obey someone. That. Next, composed. You are a very composed person. Like, not getting disturbed and like you are very, calm and balanced. So that is the option. Next, Vicissitude. Vicissitude. What is this meaning? Vicissitude means. So there is a word like vicissitude, situation, or like, so that is that to do with any concept or aspect? What is that? Now let us discuss that in detail. Let us look at the options first before we dwell on that thought. Fluctuation, constancy, indecision, danger, misfortune. Fluctuation, you fluctuate, you move here and there, this here to there to here. It's like that is without being very stable. Fluctuate. Next, constancy. Constancy means like being very stable and being very, being in the same position. Next, indecision. You are very indecisive. You are very indecisive. You are not very decisive. Like you are kind of like, like you cannot think about the options given in a very quick time, given time, and you feel that is very a kind of like very a challenging task, indecisiveness. Danger, of course, I don't have to explain you. Harmful. Misfortune, not very very good prospectus, like not very good things expected, things to to happen. So now the meaning of the question word vicissitude means what? Vicissitude means like completely not being very stable, being very kind of like wavering here and there, and in kind of like in mentality, in understanding, or in behavior, in whatever form you take. So it is like not being very stable. So that is the sense. So constancy, again, being very stable. So option B is the right answer. Next question. While person, we say, right? What is this while meaning? While means, again, having this ill thoughts, not very morally low and degrading, like not maintaining proper ethics, unethical, like that. So now options given: A, fool; B, foolish; C, gentle; D, better; E, pleasant. Fool, foolish, gentle, better, pleasant. While is again to do with wickedness. Pleasant is to do with very good thing, a pure kind of like it's very nice and morally okay, and good, morally sound, and having maintaining proper ethics, and character is very good. So that is the sense of it. So you can take the option E, pleasant. While means pleasant. Also, you can, if there is another option like gentle is also a nice word, but pleasant, again, you can take, you select either of this, but pleasant is little near. Next, acquittal. So the options given: exoneration, revenge, conviction, vendetta, and vengefulness. So exonerate, that means something which you get free of and you leave it kind of unburden, you feel. Revenge means like you don't no more feel very good with that person, you try to retort. Conviction, yes, conviction, like you are convinced that you made a mistake, or you are the accuser, or like you are not ready to do that, go ahead, but then you are convicted that you made a mistake. Next, vendetta means like, again, the kind of like retorting and taking revenge. Vengefulness, again, of course, is again taking revenge. So now you can say acquittal means you think, you run and you move as though you have not made any mistake, and you feel as though you are no more accountable to them. So that's how you can really feel. So that is the meaning. And opposite is like convicted. You are withheld, and you feel that obviously you are at blame. So option C is the right answer. Next, adhesive. So options given: acidic, venomousness; sharp, vigil or awake; Non-sticky adhesive means what? Something which is very sticky. Right now the option is very clear for you. Acidic, it is nothing to do with the acidic nature. It's nothing to do with acid. Venomousness again, it is to do with kind of like poison and very harmful thing. Sharp, being very shrewd, being very quick. Vigilant, awake. Vigil means again you're awake and kind of surveillance, and you're completely awake. Next, obviously, when it is sticky, adhesive is sticky, and the opposite word will be non-sticky. Next, 71, visionary. Who is this visionary? Somebody who visualizes, somebody who has this vision, kind of like, somebody who is very, somebody who really somebody who would really set a goal and work on that, right? Visionary. Harbinger, so options given. Harbinger, that means like you foretell, right? Foretelling, harbinger. A realist, somebody who believes in, working out, exist things that are true and practicing that. Next, see, activist. Activist means what? Activist means somebody who is very, who carries out a plan, and somebody who works out and does some planning. Idealist is someone who thinks of the kind of like set, somebody who can really feel and set a set of rules and regulations and feel that they're very right to just, and remember, who justifies things, and who has completely a different set of rules and regulations of life, or could be any proposed concept that he has in his mind, and he follows that particular thing. Pragmatist is somebody who likes to work and see it's pragmatic things, like practical things, grounded, which you feel like they can be really worked out. So visionary is somebody who like have somebody who has, or people who are with goals, or some person who has this kind of like a mission oriented mindset, and whereas pragmatists like to set in work and a kind of somebody who can really work on that on practical ground. So obviously option E could be the right answer. Vitiate, vitiate, vitiate. What is this? Vitiate means what? You options given: weaken or enfeeble. Enfeeble means again it's becoming very tired and not very strong. Thin, option C, thin. For adamant, very stubborn. Next, purify. Vitiate is you make someone very weak, and you kind of like spoil that person, and you distort something, and you cause some kind of you cause someone to lose their purity and all, right? Whereas the antonym of it, like you purify something, like, so that is the antonym of the question vitiate. Vituperate. What is the meaning of the word vituperate? Vituperate means like, let us look at the options. A, abuse. B, rebuke. C, praise. D, retort. E, insult. Abuse, rebuke, praise, retort, insult. So now, what are the options given? Abusing someone, rebuke someone, praise someone, retort someone, insult someone. So you obviously, like, you insult someone, you retort someone, you rebuke someone. So these three meanings can be correlated, or these are related to the question vituperate, like you insult someone and you do not really show more importance to that candidate, so you literally rebuke that person. So that is the sense of it. So that is the meaning of it. So rebuke or chide a person, rebuke. Whereas the opposite of that will be obviously praise. praise, you appreciate someone, or you give a very good comment on them. Vivacious. Vivacious. What is the word vivacious? Kind of like you are full of energy, and you are very lively indeed. So now the options, look at languid. Languid. Languid means what? You are very dull and inactive. So no more like enthusiasm. Okay, next, be open. You are very open to it, and you are not very, a person who hides and conceals. Next, strong. Strong, being very strong. Like very, not very weak, and in fact, able to do everything. Bright, it's again to do with something which is not very dull and cold, but then it is something which is very good, active, bright, and could be in color or could be in behavior. Next, very sharp, being very sharp. Next, lively, being very lively. You can just think that this is another synonym for the word lively. Option E, you can relate it to the word vivacious, so lively. So option A, languid or lacking enthusiasm, is a right answer. So obviously vivacious means what? Being very active, and opposite of that will be not being very active, lacking enthusiasm. Next question, vociferous. Vociferous means what? Vociferous is kind of is not very it's not very good, and it is very kind of disturbing, and kind of full of kind of disturbance. So the options given: sturdy, quiet, loud, house, outer. So all these again are very negative, being very loud and dry, harsh, and all. Whereas being quiet is the antonym, like being disturbed, and being quiet is opposite of that. So you can go with the option B, quiet. Next, violence. Violence. You are a very violent person when we say. So Chaz. So the options given. Now you have to select the option, my dear listeners. Till now I helped you with different answers. Now I want you to think about the questions that I'm asking you. So now violence, obviously what will be the answer? Think about the options given. Abyss or chasm means what? Something which is very torturous, and something which is very far, and not something which is very deep indeed. It's not a very light, and it's not very good. Hunger, feeling very, hunger means craving for something and feeling, like in want of something. Vituperate. Vituperation means, like we saw some time ago, like means, like you can think that it is kind of insult you are giving to that person, you're doing to that person. So you can go with the option anger. Next, anger means being very violent, and peace again is very opposite of it, and you are very calm and cool. So obviously violence, the opposite will be peace. So option A is the right answer. Next, 77th question, articulate. You articulate your feelings, you articulate your emotions. What is the meaning of the word articulate? You will communicate, you verbalize something, you transfer your ideas. So that is the sense of it. So A, eloquent, B, fluent, C, hesitant, D, voluble. That means you are very talkative, chatty. D, volatile. Volatile again, being very, not being very very calm, but a little bit doing very harm, and not very positive. So articulate means like you very fluently give. So fluent, eloquent again mean the same. So you can think they are synonyms to the question word, but you hesitate, not being very fluent is a problem. So option C is the antonym of the word, or antonym to the word. Question 77, articulate. Next, venal. Venal, slow. So venal means what? So now let me take the options before you. Option A, slow. Slow. What is a slow means? Slow means like you see that skin or animals shed their scales skin. So it could be snake, and even when you see the kind of like animals birth where they shed a lot of skin and scales. So even that could be slows. So it's not venal means like something which is very no, which can be forgiving, and which can be accepted, which can be excused. So that is a sense. Exudative. Exudative means to discharge through pause. Exudative means like you see again, which is related, something which can be oozed out, and you see some kind of like could be blood or sweat, like which comes out through pores. Next to venal, again that is the same thing, which is very disturbed. Moderate, calm, balanced, unpardonable. Yes, venial means what? Something which is very forgiving, and which can be forgiven and which can be exuberant, whereas which cannot be forgiven is unpardonable. So it is the antonym of that. So option E is the right antonym answer. 79. Wan. W-A-N. Wan. What is the meaning? Wan means very pale. Okay, pale, lighter. Magnanimous, very grand and rich. Bright, of course, it is very bright and grand. Secluded, being alone, being lonely. Dull, again, being very dull and not very very active, whereas pale is what is this? Pale again means wan only, very light and very little weak, whereas a light opposite is very bright, right? So that is the answer, right answer. Option B. Wanton. Wanton means want, W-A-N-T-O-N. Let us look at the options. Immoral. Wanton means like not being very ethically good. So wanton. Be moral. Be moral. Unjust, justifiable, capricious. So immoral, yes, not following, not having proper morals. Immoral, yes, morally good, ethically good. Unjust, not very true. Justifiable, something which cannot be supported, which cannot be accepted. Capricious means like you act without any sense, you very impulsively you behave. So now out of wanton means not being very moral and ethical, you can select the option moral, B as antonym of that. Next question, 82. Eccentric. Eccentric means being very strange, peculiar person. How is an eccentric person? Is very peculiar, very strange, very unusual to tell you. So now look at the options. Queer. Queer again is related to eccentric, means very weird and strange. B. Odd, not positive. Quaint. Quaint means being very cunningly crafty, like very wicked cunningness. Unusual, yes, of course. Again, the meaning of the question was unusual, not very usual. Next, normal, being very normal. So obviously, eccentric will be normal. Opposite will be normal, normality. Wholesome. Wholesome. What is the meaning of the word wholesome? When you say it is completely wholesome, means very hygienic and very healthy mentally and physically. So that is the meaning. Whereas unhealthy, of course, this is the opposite of this word healthy. Hygienic, very hygiene, neat. Irrelevant, relevant, related to, surrounding, nearby, area, atmosphere. So you can take unhealthy as the right option. Erode, eroded, just something which is tarnished, removed. That is the sense. So look at the options given. Diminish, little smaller in size. Disappear, completely not there. Improve on that. You can put on again. Vanish, disappearance again. Shudder means like sudden shake, wild shake, tremors. You say like earthquake, tremors, kind of like shivering, you get it. So obviously eroded or eroding, something which is removed or which is not there, but improvements which you can really expect something good to happen. So you can take that as your antonym. Option C is the right answer. Willy is somebody who can be really blamed without any authority, without any permission, somebody who does it. Like, so, options given. Twisted, cunning, irrational, guileless, crooked, evil, rational without having any reason. So obviously guileless, blameless person. That's the meaning. clemency, corporal, tangible, intolerance, sensibility, compromise, corporal, something which is physical, you can see. Intolerance, obviously the opposite is not being very tolerant. You cannot bear it, you cannot, anymore accept it. So that is the sense of it. So being very intolerant is opposite. Sensible, which as per sense is you do it right. Compromise is to do with acceptance. So B is the right option. So these are a few questions that will really help you develop, enrich your vocabulary. So with this session, we will close the concept antonym. So hope you are very much at a good position, or you're very much ready to take up the questions now in your exams, whatever are the questions, like even if they are very difficult, you can understand the options and rule out the right and wrong answers, and you can select one of those options. So now you're ready to solve antonym questions, I guess. So now in the coming class, in the coming session, we will discuss another important concept, based on your verbal English paper. So until then, try to improve, try to be in touch with the subject, try to work out, try to speak, try to write, and improve your English, improve your all LSRW, listening, speaking, reading and writing skills, language skills. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.